The next type of arrays are multidimensional arrays. Here, in this lesson, we would be learning what are multidimensional arrays, then 2D arrays and 3D arrays. So let us start. What are multidimensional arrays? In programming, we can define multidimensional arrays in simple words as array of arrays. Data in multidimensional arrays are stored in a tabular form, specifically in row major order. The general form of declaring n-dimensional array is given here. The data type and the array is as same as we declare in one-dimensional array. Now while specifying the size, we specified the size of each dimension separately in square braces. We would get the total number of elements in multidimensional array by multiplying the size of all dimensions. Here, the size would be size 1 into size 2 into till size n. Now, let us discuss more about 2D arrays. Two-dimensional array is considered as one of the simplest form of a multidimensional array. We can consider two-dimensional array as an array of one-dimension array for easier understanding. The basic form of declaration of 2D array is given here. First, we specify the type of data the array will be holding. Then comes the array name, followed by two sizes in two separate square brackets. So the size x and size y gives the size in two dimension. Elements in two-dimensional array are commonly referred by x, that is array name, I and j, where I is considered as the row number and j is considered as the column number. So this element will specify the element in ith row and jth column. It is interesting to know that the column number and the row number starts from 0. So the first element in a 2D array would be given as x0 of 0, that is element in 0th row and 0th column. Now the second element would be given as x01, that is element in 0th row and first column, and so on. Now how to initialize a 2D array? There are two ways in which 2D array can be initialized. The first one is by specifying the value of elements by separating a comma sequentially row by row. That is, let's say we have an array x of 3 by 2 dimension, that is total 6 elements. So the first row will consist of 2 elements, the next row will consist of 2 elements, and the last row will consist of again 2 elements. So the first 2 elements form the first row, the next 2 elements form the second row, and the next 2 elements form the third row. This can be also declared by using nested braces. Here, each set of inner braces represents one row. Here, there are 3 rows and 2 columns. So there are 3 sets of rows which consist of 2 elements representing each column. Now accessing the elements of 2D array. Elements in two-dimensional array are accessed by using row indices and column indices. Let's say I need to access an element in second row and first column. So we can do it easily by using int x to 1, which represents element from second row and first column. Again, it is important to note that here the column number and row number starts from 0. So specifically, second row here specifies the third row as the indices starts from 0, and same goes with the column. The output of all the elements in two-dimensional array can be done using nested for loops. We will require 2 loops, the first loop which will traverse the row and the second loop which will traverse a column for each row. We will be looking into an example of 2D array in the coming assignment. Till then, let us discuss what are 3D arrays. Initialization in 3D array is same as that of 2D array. The difference is, as the number of dimension increases, so the number of nested braces will also increase. Here, we use 3 square brackets to specify the dimensions, and the initialization is same as 2D array in 2 types. The first, we can list down all the elements row by row, and secondly, we can use the nested braces also. Now how to access the elements? Accessing elements in 3D array is also similar to that of 2D array. So here we can access it by using int a 0, 1, 0. Let's find this element in this array. Here 0 means it will come in the first curly brace. 1 means this is the 0th row and this is the first row. So element is between 3 and 4. And this 0 specifies the 0th column. So the element is 3. So this 3 can be accessed by using int a 0 of 1 of 0. In similar way, we can create arrays of any number of dimension. However, complexity also increases as the number of dimension increases. Here's a tabular representation of a 3D array. As we know that multidimensional array means array of arrays. Let us consider these 3 elements as a 1D array. When we use various 1D array, it becomes a 2D array. So this pink table represents a 2D array. Now let us consider we have many 2D arrays as such. And when we combine these 2D arrays, it becomes a 3D array. So this is the tabular representation of a 3D array of dimensions 3 by 3 by 3. That is, it has 3 pages. It means 3 2D arrays. Each 2D array consisting of 3 rows and 3 columns. Let's have a quick recap about multidimensional array. In multidimensional array, data is stored in tabular form. The syntax for array declaration is data type followed by array name, and the size of each dimension is specified in separate square brackets. A certain element is commonly referred by specifying the row number and column number in the square brackets separately. Here, it means that the element lies in ith row and jth column. Next, we will be discussing an example of 2D and 3D array to get a better knowledge of how to access elements and print the elements of multidimensional array.